Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at how we can change a linear lesson plan into a nonlinear lesson plan in just a few short minutes. So let's move me over here and take a look. Now, if I have a document and I have my lesson plan or curriculum plan laid out as follows. Here we have introduction to conics, conic formula overview, circles, ellipses, hyperbolas, etc. And so very linear. You move from here down, 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 down until you get to the bottom, review, test. Very traditional. Now, what if we introduce just a little bit of choice, just a little bit of variety by doing a couple things? First of all, we all know there are introductory skills that have to be talked about or at least introduced. So maybe we have a basic skills or a prerequisite skill component or an introduction like this one, Introduction to Conics. Now, conics is all based on the formulas, or at least that's one of the three versions of the conics that we need to work with. So conic formulas are here. Let's go ahead and put that kind of in the center because now we have formulas for circles or ellipses or hyperbolas or parabolas. And the reality is, although we need formulas for all of them, we don't need to accomplish them in a certain order. So to highlight this for students, why don't we just take a shape and make a circle out of this. Now, change this to, transparent actually. And let's go ahead and change line color to something fun. And let's up the weight on the line here a little bit. Now I'm using Google Drawing simply because it's very easy, very accessible, and something that students can access very quickly. So if I send that to back, maybe that's a little dark. Let's lighten that up a little bit. There we go. Okay. So now what we have is we have a constellation of topics. We have conic formulas that have to be talked about and dealt with, but then you can go to any of the formulas you wish. So just to clarify, I'll put that over there. Let's also put a little line connecting where the student should begin and where the student should move. So let's put a little color with that, a little weight on the line. There we go. Okay. Now, oh, hey, that actually works out because this way I can just grab this because now we also have another kind of constellation of things that we wish to talk about. Rotation of conics. Well, once you know the formulas, now you can rotate them. You can deal with them in systems, although that's really it's really going back to Algebra 1. So they don't really need the rotations to do the systems. And the inequalities, once you have the formulas, you don't necessarily need rotations to be able to do inequalities. So again, it's another pod of kind of secondary topics with conics that you don't necessarily have to do in order. So let's also send that to the back. Here we go. We'll shorten this line up just a bit. And there we go. Now students can start up at the top. They can move down into the first circle of knowledge, then move into the second circle of knowledge, but they can do that in any order they wish. And finally, because many of us do work in a very traditional situation or district, we do have that review component that we want. Now, that's also could potentially be very good teaching as well. And any number of things could go in that review spot before we start looking at types of assessment. But in this case, we've now taken what was a very linear plan and we've given students some choice. We've also begun to organize their thought process. And now they can start to see connections across rather than connections down only. So this is one good thing. Now, the way I use this is with a few more minutes and a couple graphics. It looks like this, okay? This is my actual live document. And so I take a couple things and I make some nice little graphics. And for each one of these, I have a Google document. Each little item links right to a Google document and it has the same icon. It has my instructional videos. It has maybe some assessment components, maybe notes, links to notes, or a GeoGebra activity. So we have that exploration activity. In other sections for hyperbolas, I have instructional videos, again, maybe a little quiz, but then I put all the student notes right there. I can even throw in bonus examples or even bookwork down here for additional practice. So all of these things can be used and students just have to click and they're one piece away. The way I do this is in the drawing, you simply click any of these items, right click, and take the share, copy the link, and put it right here in the link formula. if I'd copied it. And you'll go right there. Now I take my drawings and I save them as or download them as PDFs. The nice thing about PDFs is the students can't change the PDFs and none of the background stuff shows up. They just click wherever they need to click and it pops up where they need to pop up. So just a real quick video on how to take what would otherwise be a very linear plan, quickly turn it into something that gives students some choice. It also allows you to reorganize some of their thinking about the way the topic is handled, put it out there in a single document that links to multiple other resources as needed, and allows you to be a little bit more creative, a little more student choice, more differentiation. I think it's something you ought to take a look at.